This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Bristol Flyers Podcast, the podcast that talks all things Flyers and British basketball. I'm Joel Osborne. He is Sam Hardy.
What's up?
This is episode number 64. Sam, how's it going?
Lovely. That is not. I don't know where I was going with that, Joel. Number 64.
Yeah.
I don't know why you've named it that. Like, it's not really a big deal that it's number 64, Joel.
Sit over 60 hours of Flyers podcast right now out there on the podcast feed. It's pretty.
That is exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, you can go back and listen to them if you want. All major podcast providers and on YouTube. Great plug there.
How's your week been going, Joel?
Yeah, quiet weekend last weekend. Of course, no Flyers game, was there?
I mean, it felt kind of weird, doesn't it? Even if there's an away game, I know for you still work it, but for me, I'm still sitting down on the old couch watching the Flyers game, but not having one at all was a bit weird.
Yeah, of course, it was trophy final weekend in the British Basketball League trophy. We'll get onto that a little bit later on in this week's episode. The big news for Flyers, though, this past week, Sam, officially confirming their place in the ENBL playoffs finally on Friday.
Do we have more understanding of where we're going to be in the standings, or is it not decided yet?
We could finish third. We could finish fourth. One of those two, so we don't know who we're playing yet. Do keep an eye on the website, though, because the last round of fixtures in the ENBL takes place on mid-February.
Well, there's one game this week the Lancet Hammers are playing. I can't remember against who. And then they also have another game the week after.
Yeah, we won't go in that rabbit hole again. But basically, mid-February is when the ENBL group stage ends. And as soon as that finishes, we'll know exactly who we're playing, what dates we're playing on. It's 2 legs aggregate score. So keep an eye on the website. As always, you'll be first to know when tickets come out for that home leg, which I imagine will go like hotcakes. I did breathe a big sigh of relief, though, because, of course, having that the podcast last week, we'll talk about permutations, what Flyers got to do to make the European playoffs, and then all of a sudden they go and do it on Friday, which is great.
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah, we didn't have to worry then, did we? I watched it actually. It was close for a while, but then they
up the
took
back
it at
of
the
Bears.
end,
Up the Bears. They were down by 10 in the third quarter. They beat Juventus quite comfortably in the end in the fourth, and that confirmed our place in the playoffs. So every Bristol Flyers fan was basically a Back and Bears fan for one night only. I've got producer Dan over there pushing the buttons. Dan, how are you, sir?
Very well. How are you both? Happy 64th podcast.
Thank you very much. Happy 64th podcast to you too.
Thank you.
It's not Dan's 64th podcast.
It's not your 64th podcast. I don't know what number podcast it is for you.
I don't know. No, I've probably done about half though, right?
Yeah, at least. I reckon so.
Happy 32nd podcast,
Thank you.
Dan.
Thank you.
2 more ENBL games on Flyers TV coming up for you then.
Yes, looks like it, yeah, which means, of course, another away day.
Oh, yes. Could be the best part of the whole podcast.
Do we think that some of us might be able to go on this away day, Joel? What do you reckon?
I don't know. I've had conversations with these guys around whether we can do Flyers TV away from home. Obviously, we do it from the studio at the moment, from Ashton Gate. Maybe not. Depends what the situation is, but...
Anything is possible.
No, not true. I completely disagree.
Yeah. So
not anything is possible, Dan.
So there's a few things we've got to talk through there. But it'd be good to do it. But if not, we've got the studio right here. We can do it from Ashton Gate. Coming up on this week's show, we're talking about ENBL playoffs. We're talking about viral layups as well. We're talking the Trophy Final Four. Plus, we'll be learning about this week's guest. But before we introduce this week's guest, a bit of housekeeping. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you give us a rating and a review. We love reviews, Sam, and we haven't had one in ages.
Well, you keep saying this. It's like they don't want to give us what we want, Joel. They do it on purpose.
I know. If you're listening on the podcast feed, go down, just scroll to the bottom of your Apple Podcasts and leave us a comment. We read every single one we receive out on air. So if you want to get your message out on air, do leave a review. Also, Sam, we want to hear from fans. We want fans to email into the podcast. We've got an email address. It's hello@bristolflyers.co.uk.
That's not what I wanted it to be, Joel.
Well, we can make a new one maybe at some point, but that's the current one we have already there for like general inquiries.
Fine.
So if you've got a podcast request, if you've got a story, I'll tell you what we want to hear. We want to hear like your Flyers stories. Like if you've got a dilemma, if you've got a Flyers dilemma, you want like us to be agony aunts and uncles to help you out. Anything like that, like we want to hear your Flyers stories.
I still want producer Dan to get an email so that they can send things into him unbeknownst to me and you, and then he'll spring it upon us in the episode. I'd love that.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, it'd be great.
That would be good.
I would love that. So if you want to send an email, you can do so right now, hello@bristolflyers.co.uk, and send us anything you want, even if it's just you giving your thoughts after a game. We'll read it out on air, and we'll give you a shout out as well. Right, time for us to introduce this week's guest. And we only got 2 players left of the roster to get through. And we managed to get one of them right here in the studio today, Sam. Because we are very pleased to be joined by none other than Keddy Johnson in the house.
Keddy!
How you doing, Keddy? You all good?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Thanks for taking time out of your day to join us on the podcast.
Ah, no problem.
Funny story, we were originally going to record this podcast on a Wednesday. We're actually recording this podcast on Friday now, aren't we, Sam?
Well, I don't know how funny it is. It's funny for us, but I don't know how funny it is for Keddy, because the reason we didn't do it is because you got punched in the face, didn't you?
Yeah, one of my teammates went at me with an elbow.
So basically, Keddy got an elbow to the face in practice. It hit him in the lip, and he had a massive lip, and he couldn't do the podcast on Wednesday. So now we got you in on Friday instead. It's all good now, looking great.
Oh, yeah, had to do a little ice and the swelling went down.
Rumour has it he did it on purpose.
I think so.
Yeah, there we go. Who was it, Tevin?
Yep.
We were all taking bets thinking it'd be Brad Green or someone like that.
Nah, I stay away from Brad in practice.
Great stuff. Before we talk about get to know you a bit more, we were talking there about the Flyers qualifying for the ENBL playoffs. What was that like for you guys as a team to finally have your European playoff fate confirmed?
I mean, that's big, you know. Our first time playing European competition and doing it with this group of guys, that was real big for us and coach.
Yeah, it was huge, wasn't it? I mean, it's another step in the Flyers' history. I mean, you know, first year playing European competition, first time making the playoffs. We were all under the impression that a win would get us into the playoffs. Were you guys under that impression as well?
Yeah, we was too until after the game. I think it was TJ at first. He came out. He told us the news about certain teams needed to win, lose. We was like, oh, you just going to bring us the bad news now? You could have waited to tell us that. Then a couple seconds later, coach came through and said the same thing. We were just like, oh, man. Just got to be the bearer of bad news for now.
Yeah.
Did you all watch it together or not together, but did you watch the game on Friday night to see if you'd make it through, or did you just wait to see what the result was?
Just wait to see what the results was. I'm pretty sure some of the guys watched it, though.
Yeah. It was, we were all thinking it on Flyers TV as well, because coach was saying to us, oh, yeah, win takes us in. So our whole broadcast was dedicated to, you know, oh, Flyers are in. Yeah, great. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, a 4-way tie. If 4 teams finish on a 4-2 record, then we wouldn't make it through.
I'm going to tell you right now, and I never told anyone this, but I wasn't worried, Joe. I wasn't worried. I was like, I will make it through. It will happen.
Well,
so.
it would have had to take a lot for us not to. It's the one scenario that no one actually saw, but it would have taken a lot for that scenario to actually happen.
Yeah.
So essentially, it was a win and you're in game. I imagine the atmosphere after the game, like the locker room and stuff, the Svenborg game was pretty good.
Yeah, it was high energy. Guys happy, jumping around. Coach, too, was happy.
Yeah, I can imagine. You throwing the water around again like last time?
No, we didn't do that last time. We just did that for the first win.
Yeah. I think, and talking about the game in general out in Denmark, it was, you know, a start to finish performance. I mean, everyone got involved. I think no one really scored higher than like 14 points, and everyone was like in double figures pretty much.
I think it was no higher than 12.
Was it? It was higher than 12. Yeah.
About 4 guys had 12 points.
Yeah. I think that's when like the team's at their best this season, though, isn't it? When everyone is on the score sheet like that, because you're not just going to one guy. You know, you've got offense coming from a whole different number of positions.
Right. That's just getting teammates involved and giving everybody that confidence that they need to make shots from this time.
Yeah. It was really good, wasn't it, Sam? And these European away days, I imagine for you guys have been sort of. What have they been like? Because I imagine you guys have come closer together as a group because of these European away days this season.
They up and down. Some places better than the other ones. Like Bulgaria, I think that was the worst for me.
Oh, really?
Food-wise, area-wise, yeah, that was the worst.
Was that the first one as well?
First one,
So you're like, what on earth have I got myself in for here?
Elevator getting stuck.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you got stuck in an elevator?
Yeah.
Really? I need to hear this story.
Like, it'll go up, and then once you get to your floor, it don't go all the way to the floor. So it's like you see half the floor, but you don't see the other half.
And the door open still?
Yeah, the door's still open. So you got to like get out quick before it closes.
Oh, my goodness. And you guys, how many were you stuck in there?
Probably just 1 or 2.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The elevators wasn't that big, so
Oh,
like
right.
2 per. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love it because I imagine you visited some countries you probably would not have ever put on your list apart from now that you've, done it with the team. So that's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have went to none of the countries we went to if it wasn't for basketball.
Yeah. I mean, how are you finding the travel? Because I imagine, sort of playing in the Big 12 at college, travel is like you're quite used to traveling around, right?
Yeah, travel was it was luxury though. We flew private, didn't have to, go through airports.
Is that true? Really?
Yeah.
No, at college, yeah.
So
West
did the
Virginia,
college?
mate. This is West Virginia.
Did they own their own plane, or did they just like hire a jet for you guys
I
specifically?
think it was more so the team plane, or some coach had a line for us. But every time we flew to a away game, we flew private.
Wow. And now you're going EasyJet. But hey, EasyJet's great shout. EasyJet, that's a big sponsor of ours. We love EasyJet.
It blows my mind. It's weird because at college you don't get paid, right? So it's like these other benefits are obviously really nice to have, all the food, clothes, everything you get. But I can't imagine flying private like that. The job, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
No, that'd be really cool. I think City do it for a few of their matches as well, don't they? They fly private.
Yeah, but over here the difference in money in football and basketball is similar over there. Like the money in basketball is crazy in America, isn't it? So
yeah, it's huge. What's been your favourite European away day so far?
As in the game, or just
Well,
the
I
whole
guess-
away day vibe?
I guess like everything really. Like so I guess maybe break it down into two. What's been your favourite away game, and then what's been your favourite place to visit?
I say my favorite away game, it was the Bulgaria game because it was the first European game, and we won it. And that was big for this program. And I'll say the best experience, I liked Estonia a lot.
Estonia?
Yeah.
did you play in that one?
The Tartu game.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't injured at that point?
No.
Yeah, he's obviously you did have that injury layoff. I guess just it sort of teases up nicely for that. Kind of talk us. How did it happen, first of all? Because all of our injuries this season have been sort of freak accidents as such, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been real unfortunate, but it was a play against, I think we played Newcastle at home, second quarter. I took a charge, and I fell back into, I don't know if it was one of my teammates or the opposing team. I fell back and kind of like into his body and kind of like pushed my wrist back. And I felt it like instantly, like my wrist started hurting. But I was like, it's probably just, a little sprain, or I just tweaked it a little bit. So I come back down, and I take another charge just to come out of the game. So I take a charge, come out of the game, checking it out, go into halftime.
I love that, how he's like, I'll take a charge rather than take a foul. I'll just take a charge to come out of the game rather than actually foul someone.
Yeah, it's for the team, man. The team gets the ball back.
Yeah, so I took a charge, and after halftime, I came back with tape. And I was like, I'm going to try to play. So I'm shooting at halftime. I was just like, it don't feel right. So the second half started, and I couldn't pass with my right hand. So I made a left-handed pass, and I turned it over. And that's when I told Coach, I was like, just take me out. There's no point in leaving me in. This is really hurting bad.
And then you obviously had the wrist specialist. And
Man, I went to so many different specialists and hospitals and doctors.
Yeah.
It was just,
and then they obviously we diagnosed you out for, what was it, two months, right?
2 months.
2 months on the sidelines.
Which, that sounds bad, and it is bad, but we were worried to begin with it was going to be longer than that as well, weren't we?
Yeah, because one of my appointments, the doctor came in the room, and he was like, I think he said 3 to 6 months. And I was like, nah, that can't be right. And like my heart just dropped instantly as soon as he said that. I'm like, nah. So as time went along, we got better news, and it was good. It was just 2 months.
Yeah, and talk to us about the whole recovery process, because I imagine with a wrist injury like that, it can be so frustrating because you're not immobilized as such. You can still walk around. You just have to sit and watch practice and watch games. I imagine that can be really tough for you.
Yeah, it was real depressing. I've never been out there long. Well, I dealt with an injury like this before, but it was in high school, so it wasn't really just, this is my pro career now, so it's like I'm being paid to be here. But Coach was a big factor in my recovery. He stayed. We had a lot of conversations, keeping me motivated. So he helped me a lot during that process.
One thing you lot won't know as well is because we get to the games early to set up all the things we're doing, and really soon, I don't know how soon it was, but at least a month in or nearer the end of the recovery, you'd see him before every single training session doing loads of work on left-handed, because he's still in the cast, mind. He's still there in his pink cast, and then he's doing so much left-handed training. And I actually think we've seen, I don't know, I can't really remember before, but an improvement in your left-handed game since that time, right? What would you say?
Yeah, that was a big improvement. That's the first time since before the cast, since I did the left-handed floater. I think I've never done that in the game. And I did it for the first time after the 2 months of being out.
Wow.
Well, they're using it all the time, aren't you? You do crazy stuff anyway. But I'm just like, it just feels like that time was actually it's going to be beneficial for the rest of your career. Which I know it's sad that you're injured, but it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I'm using my left a lot more than I was before now. Even more than my right sometimes.
Yeah, and you changed your profile picture on Instagram to the Kobe Bryant picture with the wrist.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a bit of motivation for you?
Yeah, some motivation, mama mentality. Keep pushing.
Yeah, and I imagine that first game back for you. Talk us through that first game back, because you would have probably been like a kid on Christmas morning that day.
I mean, I was so ready to play. I was first one out warming up, getting the wrist warmed up, loosened up.
Which game was that? Was that the
Leicester?
It was the Leicester game.
Leicester, just before Christmas it was.
Oh, so
it
wasn't the cup trophy game. It was the I love that. In 28th, I think it was.
There's a really sick shot of Keddy back from injury, and it hits this ridiculous 3 in the fourth quarter, and there's a photo of him like looking directly at Teddy Buckets, making like a, what's the sign you were doing? Like a
I was
W?
I was throwing up my city. I was throwing up Dallas,
throwing up a Dallas sign.
Were you chatting at each other that game?
Nah, I didn't really pretty much talk to him. I don't really know him like that.
Yeah, but it was a great way to come back from injury. First game back, big win away from home, Leicester Riders, and now you're back in the squad every single week. It must be great being back up to full speed now.
Yeah, it feels good just to play basketball on a day-to-day basis again.
Well, I know we mentioned it a little bit at the beginning when you were talking about taking those 2 charges. I don't know if the stats are taken in our league. I don't think they are, but you must take more charges per game than anyone in the league. I think that's probably true, isn't it, Joel?
I think so. Is that for you? Is that like a mindset? How do you teach that? Like just putting your body on the line, taking charges like that, because it's incredibly tough with those big bodies in our league, right?
I don't think you can teach that. It's just got to be something. It's just when it plays, it's just got to be something you want to do. And in college, we had drills. If we missed a charge, it was a problem. We would get in trouble for missing the charge and not stepping over to take a charge. So I think it's just instilled in my brain now just to take the charge.
I think with a charge, it's more complicated than just if you score a crazy layup or whatever, you've learned to do that and that's cool. But everyone knows that ball's gone through the hoop. Whereas with a charge and a blocking foul, still the refs get it wrong. Still players don't really understand always why one's the other. It's not to do with your feet being still, because there's times where you're moving, you still get the charge or whatever. But I think part of what you do really well is you're quicker than them, so you get to the right position, but you almost are showing the refs you're like, I am also taking this charge really well, and you have to almost not trick the refs because you are taking the charge, but make them go unequivocally that is a charge. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I just try to keep my shoulder square when taking the charge and actually be there. But on the ones when I'm actually still sliding, I mean, if the dude put his shoulder in your chest and you just fall, that's pretty much a charge most of the time.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's such a hard thing to really concept and to teach kids, to put your body on the line and take a charge. That's really tough, but it just shows the sign of a tough player. So yeah, it's great. It's amazing. For
those listening who don't really know the difference, you'll see I can show you the signs on here, but a lot of you will be listening. But the difference between a charge and a blocking foul is one's offensive, which is the person with the ball obviously running through or into the player, and the other one's done by the defender, which is often where they're moving. Nice, Joel. I like that.
The referee signals there.
The defensive player's moving and they move their body almost into the space of the offensive player, but it is grey, isn't it, a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
We like to teach new fans here some of the rules of the game on the podcast, because that can be confusing as well. And obviously we get a lot of new people listening to the podcast that may not be too familiar with the rules of the game. So this sort of chat, I think, is really beneficial to those fans to really get an understanding of how it all works, because it can be really confusing at first. Keddy, let's talk about Bristol. Obviously, this is your first time outside of the US.
The country, yeah.
How are you finding your time in Bristol so far?
I mean,
as a city,
I'm adapting. It's cool. It's quiet. I like quiet and peace. So
yeah,
it's been a real pleasure to me since I've been here.
The weather's not been like Dallas.
Oh no, it's the complete opposite. I mean, it's not that cold sometimes, but when it is cold, I'm freezing. I got on a jacket, a coat, probably shorts and sweatpants. Right now.
For the listener, he's wearing a coat right now in our studio, which is, I can tell you, our studio is not cold.
No.
Actually, today is quite cold.
Yeah,
but the studio is normally boiling hot, and Keddy's got his Flyers puffer jacket on today. So
yeah, it's a little chilly in here. My hand's still cold.
So you're from Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Are you a Mavs fan?
Somewhat, yeah.
Did you see Lucas 73 the other day?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like the whole NBA doing that right now. It's just like they taking
I
turns.
know. It's
Well,
actually crazy.
Cat got 62. Joel got 72
Yeah.
as well. Someone
No one
else
wants
as
to play
well.
any defense, apparently.
And
Yeah.
Edwards got 60 something as
Yeah,
well,
'cause
didn't
there's
he?
no way Cat should be scoring 60 points. I mean, he a good player, top player in the league, but 60 points is just crazy for him to score.
Yeah.
He did get like 7 threes though, which his defender should have come up on him more. But I suppose as a center, that's sort of it's a weird one.
Did you see after the game when the coach was mad about it?
What? Who were they playing? Their coach or
Yeah,
Timberwolves coach?
Timberwolves coach. Yeah, they was mad about it because they feel like they were just passing it. They was planning to do that.
Oh, they weren't playing for the team; they were playing for
Yeah,
Cat.
that game. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. What would it take for someone to score like 60 points in a British Basketball League game? Because most of the time we score 60 or 70 points in a game as a team.
Also,
But it's obviously you've got shorter quarters in the UK. It's 10-minute quarters compared to your 12. But so you lose like.
I think the equivalent would be taking a fifth off of the 60, so it would be like a 50-point game, really.
Still, that'd be nuts in our league, though.
I don't see that happening.
I remember Jay Sean Page. You know Jay Sean Page?
Yeah, he went to West Virginia.
He had a 40-point game in the BBL. British Basketball.
Oh my.
No way!
Keedy won't know about this.
What's this?
Me,
You can't say BBL.
we're not allowed. You're allowed to because you're a guest, but we're not allowed to because it's the rules. It's changed the league name, and so we've got a little bucket.
dear.
So, Keedy, this has been a first time in a long time, actually.
Yeah.
We haven't done this in a long time. We have a rule on the Bristol Flyers podcast where if either Sam, myself, or producer Dan say the B, and the L, which we just did there, we've got to take a forfeit out of our bucket. And there's only 2 forfeits left in the bucket.
I'm gonna let Keedy pick it.
Go on, pick my forfeit, Keedy. He's reaching into the bucket right now.
Want me to read it?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Read it out loud.
Impersonate a chicken.
Impersonate a chicken. Oh, okay. That's not too bad. Bristol Flyers Podcast.
That was real accurate.
Is that right, yeah? There we go. There's impersonate a chicken. But
Do you see Bristol City did a release of a player yesterday? He did the bird
Oh,
is
yeah, I
the
did
word
see
'cause his
that.
surname's Bird.
Old
That's like a
Family
chicken.
Guy.
Yeah, like that.
your good old deadline day.
Anyway, back to what we're saying. What would it take for a person
Oh, yeah.
to
Jay
get...
Sean Page had a 40-point game. I think it was a 40-point game. I remember we played him in the playoffs. Are you close to Jay Sean Page?
Nah, not so much.
So we played him in the playoffs when he played for Newcastle Eagles. And
That was a
he-
few years back.
Yeah, and he came. They were up by 11 points. It was 2-leg aggregate
It
score.
was that game, yeah.
They were up by 11 points in the playoff quarterfinal first leg. We were down by 11, and then we came back and won by 16 or 17 in the end.
Was that the one with the block at the end and the...
The Adozi block right at the start on
Oh,
Sarn
we're not on about the...
Jay Sean Page got ejected.
So you...
I think it was, or fouled out, one of the two.
He went to West Virginia and that's where you went as well?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But he's, what, 4 or 5 years older than you?
Yeah.
Do you play together on TBT or anything like that, or any alumni stuff, or are you still working out at the gym together or anything like that?
I haven't seen him probably in a couple years on campus in West Virginia, but most of the guys do come back and we play TBT together.
Yeah, 'cause you played last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
TBT. How did you find it? First time TBT?
It was a good experience. I didn't really just get the playing time that I wanted, I guess because it was my first year, and then we had a couple 3-year, 4-year pros playing, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Is that what Mean Green do?
Yeah. So
The Elam ending and all that?
Yeah. So Bleed Green played that. We have a few Flyers players that play in that tournament. So lots of our Flyers fans like to follow everyone's progress. And obviously, when we saw that we signed you right at the start of the summer, we were like, "Oh, everyone go follow Keedy's games at TBT." But I think did you guys just play one game? It was just one game.
Yeah,
wasn't
we
it?
played. We
Two
won the
games.
first. Yeah, we played 2.
Yeah, so it's good. It's really good, and all the teams. It's like a March Madness for alumni players, and the winner wins $1 million.
Man, that is crazy, isn't it?
You going to play it again this summer?
I'm thinking about it, depending on how I feel.
Oh, no exclusives here on the podcast
Depending
just
on how I
yet.
feel.
There you go. No exclusives. We were just talking about Bristol just then. Obviously, you've been the first time away here in the UK. Like, just talk us through how tough that is as a player and the sacrifices you have to make, because obviously you're moving away. Essentially, you're moving away. You're packing everything up by yourself. You're leaving your family. You're leaving your friends out there. And you're having to basically start a new life and a new career from scratch.
I mean, it's tough, but for me, I've been away from home for probably about 5 years in college. So moving to Bristol, it was a big Trust me, it was a big move. It's out of the country. It's not as close as West Virginia, which wasn't close at all either. But I'm just so used to being away. It's just normal to me. I adapt easy, so I didn't find no troubles with it.
Yeah. And how have you settled into like the British Basketball League? Have you found many adjustments to like the style of play in our league compared to maybe what you were playing at college?
It's almost pretty much similar with the speed and physicality, not getting the calls you want here and there. But, it's fun. I'm getting used to the refs, learning how to talk to them. So
Yeah. Do you have any guys that you know already from like your time in college that are playing in our league right now? Like so a lot of people do. They're like, oh, I played against them, or I played with these guys, or anything like that.
Yeah, I know Jaron Holmes from Leicester.
Oh yeah.
He was in my I actually played against him in junior college and Division I. He went to Iowa State last year.
No way.
The Cyclones.
Cyclones.
Cam Christian from Cheshire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my best friend played with him in college. So we had conversations here and there over the phone. Larry Austin and Maciel Jack, we all have the same agent. So it's pretty much a little small circle.
There you go.
That's a nice group as well, that.
Yeah,
Good group of players there.
Yeah. Who would you say has been the hardest player you've had to guard in the league this season, in the British Basketball League?
That's a good question, John.
It is a good question.
Because it's a very guard-heavy league, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll say probably Jordan Johnson.
Yeah, he's decent, isn't he?
He's a great player. It's really just hard to guard him.
It's tough.
In ball screen situation.
It's tough, I imagine, because he's so small. Any kind of bumps you give him, he's getting knocked over.
Yeah,
so
he's getting calls too.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do I do? How do I play defense?
Yeah.
But it's the sort of, he's so versatile. He's really good at shooting, finishing, and passing as well. So it's almost like every decision you make to defend, he's got another one to come against, right?
For sure.
Yeah. It's a tough matchup, that one for sure. Let's talk about viral layups, Keddy. And before you had your wrist injury, there was this one clip that did the rounds on Flyers social media. It went absolutely nuts. It was you, and it was a poster layup against the Manchester Giants. It's like essentially, it was like you should have dunked it, but you didn't dunk it. Producer Dan can get it up on screen now. This clip has done the rounds on the Flyers' social media. Talk us through this play.
Man, I was just thinking, get to the basket, before the big get there. And when I do jump for a layup and I know the big is going to come over and help, the way I jump, I try to jump into the spaces where he's going to take out from, so it'd be contact and it's a foul because he's jumping into me. But somehow he jumped late and, his arm hooked up under my leg. And I just kept going up. I was like, I didn't even realize I was that high until after I made the layup.
Just dropped it in.
Yeah. I mean, get it up on screen again, Dan. This clip was shared on the Flyers Instagram back in October. You practically float over your defender, post a dunk without the dunk. This went nuts on social media.
Look, you can see him grab my leg.
Yeah. Right now on Instagram, it has over 1 million plays in total. It was also actually shared by the Overtime Europe Instagram page, and right now, at the time of recording, that currently has 4.2 million views on Instagram. Have you ever had a play like that go viral online?
Of course not. Not like that.
It's got more viral than a poster dunk. It has, hasn't it? Because people were like, "What the heck was that? Why didn't he dunk it?" There's arguments online about it.
Yeah, I got so many of my friends that text me, bro, why you didn't dunk it? Why you didn't dunk it? DMs. I was just like, bro, I didn't realize I was that high until I saw the video.
How does that feel to have like a play like that just do the? I mean, it's in total had over 5 million views online.
I mean, it feels good. I feel like going into games, people are thinking about that video, so it kind of gives me a little leeway when I'm going to the basket.
Yeah.
At the very end of the video, just as you, Dan, do you mind showing it one more time?
Well, you've got another angle. Put the other angle up on.
No, I need to see the first angle. I need to see the first one again. There's this bit at the very end. Watch Keddy's hand. He does the layup, lands down, and then he goes.
He does the too small, doesn't he? He does the too small. The too small celebration.
But you do it real subtle. It's not like big deal. Just like too small.
Yeah, you gotta be calm about it. It's just a play.
Show us the other angle then, Dan. Go on, why not?
Here's another angle of the layup, so you can see really how high you got there, Keddy. Your elbow is above the rim in this clip. Talk to us about it. He is crazy.
And he crying like that's not a foul. Like it's clearly a foul.
He's
Like,
running into you. That's a foul. Who's saying it wasn't a foul?
Look at number one right there. Complaining to the ref afterwards.
Where's one?
Right here.
McNeil.
Yeah.
He's like, no,
Like,
no,
come on, bro.
no.
Or he's just like, nah, don't do him dirty like that,
Like,
Keddy.
anybody in the world that want that call.
The big question though, Keddy, is why didn't you dunk it?
I don't know. Probably because I guarantee if it was with my right hand, I probably would have dunked it. But it's tough for me to turn the ball over with my left.
Should have been injured first, and then you.
I was just about to say that.
That's it. You would do that. You would dunk it now.
If that happened now, I might dunk it.
No, but I think partly also, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you were going up for a layup and then weirdly you're so much higher because the guy helped, you're not thinking, I'm going to dunk it. You're like, I'm going for a layup.
Yeah.
I've got another one that I don't know if you're going to talk about this, Joel, because but I was a bit gutted the other day. One of my favourite plays, I'm going to see if Dan can get it up last minute, that didn't make it into the British Basketball League top 10 was your amazing assist over to Pasquale.
Oh yeah.
That was like one of the dirtiest things. I don't know if you're going to be able to find it actually, Dan.
No,
'cause
he
it's
might not be able to find it. It would be in highlights from our game.
I
with
was
Newcastle.
gutted. It was one of the dirtiest assists, and it never made it into the top 10. You know what? You know the one,
Yeah, I
don't
know
you?
exactly what you're talking about. Man, I was going to lay it up, but I'm like, he might block this. And I don't like getting my shot blocked. And he like jumped at the perfect time from the perfect angle. So I seen P in the corner. So I'm like, I ain't think I was going to throw it around him. I was just thinking make the pass. But I ended up throwing it around his back and hit P. I was like, yeah, he got to make this shot. If he missed this is going to be a problem. And he made it.
But you can also see with P is running, the defender's running at him so fast that he has to put extra juice on it to get it up in the air, doesn't he? So, yeah. Joel, we should find that clip and try and add it on at the end.
Yeah,
in post
I'll add it in post. Don't worry, Dan. Don't get it up. I'll add it on the edit. So, Keddy, one thing we like to do with our guests is talk about their career journey into becoming a pro. And obviously you mentioned you grew up in Dallas, Texas.
Right.
What was that like growing up out there? And can you remember like how young you were when you first started playing basketball?
When I first started playing, I was a kid. I was probably like 5, 6 when I first started playing. But I was playing basketball and football up until middle school. And I kind of got out of being an outside person. So I just stuck with basketball ever since, the 6th grade. And I had a great high school career. You know, probably one of the best high school players to come from my school and the area also. But after high school, I ended up going to St. Peter's in New Jersey, a Division I school. It's like a real low major. But a couple years ago, they made a run in the NCAA tournament. But, yeah, I was out there for probably about 2 months. Something just didn't feel right about, being out there. I went to college at 17, and that's young in the States going to college at 16, 17. So I ended up going to a junior college after my first 2 months there. My best friend went to the school, so he got me on the team, talking to the coaches. The coach didn't have no problem with signing me. Like, he didn't ask for film or nothing. He was like, yeah, okay, come. So I got there. I led the country in scoring and led in steals for my 2 years there.
And steal, sorry?
Yeah.
No way.
Average like, I want to say 3.7, almost 4 steals a game
If
for
you
2 years.
If you don't know stats, guys listening, that is mental.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, in my recruiting, it was off the charts. I probably had almost every school in the country.
I was going to ask you how many offers you got because you ended up at West Virginia, which is
Yeah.
one of the most prestigious
Right.
programs in college basketball.
Yeah, I didn't even count. I just had so many letters and getting so many calls. Like, some days I wouldn't even pick up my phone because, like, I don't want to talk today. Like, just give me a break for the day. But originally when I got there, my coach, he was like, because he knew I was going to end up going back Division I. So he just said, give me a list of schools that you want to go to. I gave him all Big 12 schools. So I started getting the calls, coaches coming to watch practice, coming to games. But the West Virginia coaches stuck out the most. They flew out almost every week.
Oh, nice.
They was flying out every week. Some days, like, I'm not even going to class because I got to meet with my advisor and the coaches. Like, they just come. When they came to the school, like, my day was over. That was my focus. Like, the coaches, that's it. But it was a real fun experience. So I ended up going to West Virginia. My first year, I probably averaged like 5 minutes up until one conference game I played was down 17. So I played that game, and we ended up coming back and winning that game. Yeah, we was down 17 in the second half. I played behind, he played for the Knicks right now, Miles McBride. He don't really play too much, but when he do play, he bring a lot to the table. So I played behind him my first year. And after that, my minutes just started, going up, climbing.
Yeah.
In that game that you were 17 down, how many points did you get? Do you remember?
I had not much, but I was a big factor. Like, I got steals, blocks, all types. So I probably had like 9 points.
Nice.
I was going to say, you mentioned former NBA players like playing in the league now, for example. Are there many other guys in your conference or your team that are now playing in the NBA?
Oh, yeah, it's a bunch of them. 2 of my teammates from this past season playing the G League right now. One plays for the Austin Spurs and one played for the College Park Skyhawks.
What was it like playing for Coach Huggins at West Virginia?
Oh, Hugs. I mean, it was a great learning experience, He was a great guy, don't get me wrong. Besides all the outside stuff that the media says, if you know him personally, like, you'll look past everything that's happened, everything he maybe said or done. All that stuff wouldn't even matter if you knew him as a person. But it was fun playing for him, He's a great teacher. He's kind of like, for me, he was kind of like a father figure away from home. For being away from home for 3 years, he really stepped in and played a big role in the whole team's lives. So.
Yeah. And just a word on Morgantown in general. Talk to us about what the fans were like out there, because you've seen videos of college basketball fans going absolutely nuts, but the fans in Morgantown are really they're really nuts.
Yeah, I think Morgantown got probably one of the best fan bases in the country, because in West Virginia, in the state of West Virginia, we're like the major Division I school, probably I think the only Division I school like that's big like that in West Virginia. So they drive from all over the state to come down games. We have 15,000 sitting in the Coliseum every home game.
Yeah.
So it's like, and to this day, like, fans, they still follow me. They still message me. Like, they texting me, asking me if I'm watching the game, wishing you still playing here, all types of stuff. So them some real loyal fans.
Yeah. Every time you post something on social media as well about you, the fans out there, especially when like the West Virginia account gets hold of it as well and they share it, it goes crazy. You get all the fans there really getting involved and stuff like that as well. So
you're telling me we could take 15 SGSs and stitch them all together, and it still wouldn't be as many as you were getting at the moment?
There we go. That's exactly what it's like.
Probably not.
That's exactly what it's like.
Was it loud when you played college?
The floor shakes.
Genuine. The floor shakes.
The floor
Are they all
shakes.
stamping and everything? Like, oh my goodness me.
College basketball. It's nuts.
Did you get scared the first game you played?
Nah.
You just don't think about it.
Yeah.
Talk to us about, because you played in the NCAA tournament in your senior year?
Yeah.
Playing the tournament?
My senior year and my first year at West Virginia.
Yeah. But in your senior year, you had that massive game, didn't you?
Yeah.
As against Maryland?
Maryland, yeah. I was just, the first half I was in foul trouble, so I really didn't play too much in the first half. I had 2 fouls. And in college, if you got 2 fouls in the first half, most likely you're going to not play the rest of the first half. But I think I had probably 8 points in the first half before I sat with foul trouble. I mean, I just came out the second half. I'm like, shoot, this is my last go round. I gotta make it, gotta make it worth the wait.
Yeah.
So I just got hot out of nowhere. I'm making shots, getting to the basket. I think I scored. I went on a 11-0 run, 12-0 run by myself in the second half.
A personal 12-0 run. And that is mental, isn't it?
I remember when you first signed with us. I was looking back through tape, and I watched that game, and it was like a 12-0, 11-0 run by yourself in the third.
Hit 3 threes in a row, and 1 3.
I remember that as well.
Do you remember when we went around the office?
We get so because we keep it secret because we don't want to know who's coming. We don't want the rest of the office to know. But like Joel needs to know because if he's going to sign someone, like Steve needs to know because he's going to do like all the kit and stuff, and I need to know because
you're nosy.
It's really important. I know. And we watch these tape and we're just like, yes, cutie. Yeah, so excited.
But as soon as we get as soon as we get the message from Coach Kapula saying we signed this guy, straight away head down the laptop. Let's do some research on this player. First thing that popped up was a 27-point performance that you had.
Was it 27
Maryland.
you got?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And then I was like, Sam, have a look at this. This is who we got on our team next year.
Did you win that game as well? No.
We lost by 2. I want to say in the first round.
It was like a bittersweet ending to your college career because you had that really good individual performance and then you didn't make it past that round of the tournament.
And I took the last shot too.
Really?
Yeah, it was it had to be from half court.
No, so it wasn't like a good look. It was
If it was a good look, it probably would have went in just the way I was shooting that game.
Yeah. So I guess like after that college career finishes, just talk us through the process of after you finish. How do you end up with Coach Kapoulis at the Flyers?
After the season ended, it just was about workouts for me at that point, being ready, because obviously I knew I was going to end up playing somewhere. But I was waiting for my G League workouts, my Summer League workouts. I only had one with the Cavaliers. So after that workout, after that I was just sitting, waiting around, working out. And my agent called me and told me Coach K wanted to sign me. So I talked to my agent. I waited a couple of days before agreeing to coach. I had a couple conversations with some people, and they gave me some good, feedback and news with dudes that played in the British Basketball League as well.
Yeah.
So, that's what made me. They said it would have been a good spot for me.
That's great. Did you get like recommendations? Is that what you're saying? You get like recommendations from people, be like, oh yeah, this league's a good place to start your pro career.
Right, like Tariq Phillip.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Yeah, he was actually in Morgantown at the time that I was there, and we had a conversation about it.
Yeah,
and he told me that it'd be a good place to start.
Wow.
It's really tricky, because your pro career is so different to college career. College isn't real. It is real, but it's not real in a way, isn't it? The way it's inflated and all the rest of it. And so I think the one thing we miss, if we, like you guys come here, SGS obviously amazing in terms of everyone's really loud, but when we get the arena, Joel, that's going to be such people will be like, great, 5,000 person arena. Right. That will be, I know it's not the 15, but it's still a really good starting place in the British Basketball League and whatever, isn't it? So
no, it'd be massive. Game changer for the program. I love how it's all word of mouth though amongst players. Like I love that because you can't take, you can listen to agents and stuff, but if you've got a player saying like this is a good opportunity or this is a good place to start your career, do you know what I mean? That's probably more. In fact, the word of mouth is huge in that, because you can't take, unless there's someone you trust and listen to what they've got to say from personal experience of previously playing in that league. It's massive, right?
Yeah.
Do you think Coach K, we know him, we love him, we love what he's doing, we think the program here is awesome, the way they look after you and all the rest of it, and I think he's a great coach, but do you think other players around the league can see that, Joel? And obviously you've had players who have recommended him who weren't playing on our team. They've obviously seen and gone, that's a cool program, that's a great... Right. Is that right? What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Coach K, he's a great guy, and it's it's noticeable when you play in other teams. The way he coaches, the way he talks, he's a big part of our success so far.
And has it been everything you expected it to be so far, your time with Bristol Flyers?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, it's basketball. It's what I love to do. So, I take whatever comes with it.
Yeah. Amazing. Great stuff. That's a really good chat, I thought. We've got to do our quickfire questions, Keddy, because we are running a bit behind schedule, as always. We like to run behind schedule on the podcast. But what we like to do, Keddy, with every guest...
I don't.
Sam loves running behind schedule. What we like to do with every guest, Keddy, is do our quickfire questions segment, which means you'll have 30 seconds on the clock. You'll have to answer as many quickfire questions about yourself as you possibly can. Don't worry.
Myself.
They're not too hard. It's like personal preference questions. You'll be absolutely fine.
Okay.
There's nothing to worry about. The score to beat is 11, which was set by Mike Miller, who was our point guard from last season. Okay. This year's leader, I think, is RGB, who had 10. So you'd have 30 seconds on the clock. Producer Dan, are you ready to get the lights down? Dan,
yes, sir.
Let's do it. Lights
red.
Yeah, the lights have gone red, Keddy. Keddy Johnson, you have 30 seconds on the clock to answer as many questions as you can. Your time starts now. What are you watching on Netflix right now?
Top Boy.
What is your hidden talent?
Rap.
How many tattoos do you have?
14.
What's your favorite fast food chain?
Chick-fil-A.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
What's your worst habit?
Bite my nails.
What is your guilty pleasure?
I don't think I got one of those.
What time do you usually wake up in the morning?
8.
8 a.m. There we go.
Are we gonna like pass over that without saying anything, or are we gonna talk about the fact that you have a hidden talent, which is rapping?
I just do it as for fun, not just to take serious. Like when I'm just bored, I'll play beats and just think of stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
If we play a beat right now, would you be able to?
No, I'm not. I ain't the freestyle type. I gotta write mine.
Okay, I see how it is. It's a nicely avoided question there, Keddy. Producer Dan, how many questions did Keddy get correctly?
That is 7 or 8, depending on that second to last one. Isn't really an answer there. So 7 or 8, depending on what you want to give.
I'll give him 8.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
That's not too bad. 8 out of 11 was a score to beat. So not too. You're right there on the cusp. Top Boy, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
What a show.
Yeah, I finished that.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've not seen it. Is it good?
Yeah, really good.
Okay, I'll check it.
Yeah, go check it out. It's on Netflix. Go watch Top Boy. Right, Sam, it's time for us to get to this week's news.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Hey Flyers fans, we want to say a huge thank you to our sponsors Webgains, who help make this podcast possible. Webgains is an affiliate marketing network who bring businesses and affiliates together to grow and succeed.
The Bristol Flyers are all about teamwork, and that's exactly what Webgains are about too. They're like the assist that helps your business score big.
Are you an aspiring entrepreneur or have a business of your own that sells products online? If so, Webgains is here to help. They connect businesses with top affiliates, from cashback giants like Top Cashback to niche bloggers in your vertical, who can promote your products and services, reaching a wider audience and driving more revenue.
And here's the slam dunk, Flyers fans. Webgains provides you with detailed reports and analytics to track the performance of your affiliate marketing campaigns, making it easy to see results of your hard work and investments.
Whether you're a local business or an international brand, Webgains has the expertise and network to take your marketing efforts to the next level. They're passionate about helping businesses grow, just like we're passionate about our team's success, Sam.
So if you're ready to skyrocket your online presence and drive more sales, visit webgains.com and see how they can assist you in scoring big in the world of affiliate marketing.
That's webgains.com, webgains.com. Give your business the assist it needs with Webgains Affiliate Network.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Okay, here's a look at what's been going on around the league this past week. And of course, Sam, it was British Basketball League Trophy Final Four weekend.
What a weekend of... There were some unreal games that weekend, weren't there?
Yeah, it was good. I thought the basketball side of things was very well put together. I thought there's some really competitive games. I thought the first game was London versus Caledonia.
Yeah.
It was very good.
I actually caught none of that one, so I don't know how good that one was.
Caledonia just falling short to the London Lions. And then the second game was Leicester versus Cheshire, which went right down to the wire.
Yeah,
Cheshire had a
good
big
one.
lead. Did you watch that game, Giddy?
Yeah, I watched that one. That was a good one.
They had a big lead. LaQuincy Rideau was balling out. All weekend he was balling out.
He was balling, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. And they had a big lead, and then Leicester came storming back. They retook the lead, and then Cheshire took it back at the end.
Who was clutch in the last dying minutes, Joel?
Oh, Rideau scored that layup right at the end. It could have been a foul in there as well, potentially.
He's a nice player, isn't he?
I haven't played against him yet.
Have you not?
Only in the preseason game that I played.
yeah.
The second time we played him, I was hurt, so I didn't get to play.
Well, you will next weekend, Giddy.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's next. Is that which day is that? Is that 10th or 11th?
That's the Saturday.
Okay, cool.
Is it Saturday or Sunday? That's maybe Sunday.
It's 2
I
games
don't
in the
know.
weekend.
There's Cheshire and there's...
We'll come to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll get to that. And then, Sam, in the final, Cheshire, they were crowned champs, so massive congratulations to them. 82-98 over the London Lions. An incredible performance by them, and a performance which no one was really expecting in the end.
It wasn't even. It was an absolute smashing. They killed him, didn't they? It was crazy watching it. They just with him. They were together for like the first half. It was pretty level, wasn't it? I'd say.
Yeah.
In terms of points, but they just then took it away and just never stopped scoring, did they?
Yeah, I just felt like, when you look at the papers, the roster, obviously London, they have a, loaded roster at every position. That day, I just feel like Cheshire wanted it more.
Yeah.
And they played way harder than London did.
Yeah, I think London also, they went quite deep into their bench, and usually those sort of finals, one-off games are the teams that you kind of narrow your bench right down and give your star players a bit more minutes, because those are the times that they're going to need to be, under the spotlight. And I think like Gabe had around 20 minutes, and I think... Taylor had around 20 minutes as well, and those are the guys that you really want to be, given 30 plus really in that situation.
It doesn't really matter really, but it is good for the league that London don't just win everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. And London, it's no surprise they got a bigger budget than everyone, but I think if we have it each season where they don't win something like the trophy, it's going to keep the motivation going, keep it high, and the league going to keep improving. And Cheshire are just killing it this year as well. They've come out of nowhere really, and I'd say they're a bit like us last year. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you, very similar to us last year. There was an interview with Rideau after the game, and he was saying to Drew, when you made your preseason picks and you put us like in 7th, and I was like, this story sounds familiar. and then he was like, we're the underdogs. And I was like, this story sounds very familiar.
Well, I think because for this year, I think they've taken their lesson with Bristol that we don't necessarily, coach finds great players, and now we're not necessarily seen as people who are going to come low down in the league. But last year they put us as 10th.
They put us dead last year.
Last.
And we came joint second on points, but third with the head-to-head.
Yeah.
So it was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really good season, yeah. Obviously, congratulations to Cheshire. That was a massive dub. Quincy Rideau, by the way, in the final, finals MVP, 25 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Aaron Rye, 16 and 11. And then David Nwaba led London with 18 points.
I love the way Aaron Wright plays, by the way. It's not conventional, is it? It's real nice.
Yeah, we haven't seen anyone in the league play quite like him. And if there's one player you think he sort of does play like, it's almost like a bit like Luka. Like
I was just about to say that. Not too fast.
Yeah, no, he's not fast at all.
Not fast. Got the body type.
Yeah.
A lot of spin moves. Just playing at his own pace.
And then slows down those last 2 steps to take the bumps. He gets a lot of foul calls, doesn't he? And he finishes real well, so he's tough.
Yeah, so congratulations to Cheshire Phoenix. Of course, Cheshire Phoenix come to SGS next weekend. They take on the Flyers. Big game there, so make sure you get your tickets. A few tickets have just been released for that, by the way, over at bristolflyers.co.uk, but they will not last long. Of course, that is part of a double header. We also have Surrey Scorchers, and I think that game is completely sold out as well. We also have to give a mention to the double header we're doing with the women's team on that day. The women's team are tipping off early. We're asking fans to pick up a free ticket online, completely free. You can register your interest, get a ticket on Ticket Insight, come watch the women's team play before the men's team on that Sunday. Should be a great day of hoops. We're trying to pack the place out for both of those games, Sam.
Yeah, it should be really fun. And we obviously can't, if you've not got tickets for the men's game in the afternoon, we can't give you them if you get women's one. But if you don't have one for the men's games, definitely come along to the women's game. It should be really great. John, I'm working a quad header that weekend, mate.
What have you got?
I'm working the rugby on the Friday night, and then we're working the Saturday, and then the 2 games on the Sunday. It's going to be, and then the Super Bowl in the evening. It's just a lot of sport that weekend.
Sport all day long. We love to see it. Get your tickets right now over at bristolflyers.co.uk for all the games taking place over that weekend. Of course, this weekend it is Caledonia Gladiators away, which is on Sunday at 3 p.m. tip-off. How is preparations going, Keddy?
It's been pretty good. So far, we have 4 great days of practice, coming from a 3-day weekend, 3-day break. And we have 4 great days, and then we got 2 more to prepare. So I think we're going to go into this one ready to play.
When do you travel?
Tomorrow. We fly out tomorrow.
Yeah, they fly up on Saturday, game on Sunday, and then they'll fly back, Sunday night?
Yeah, right after the game.
Because the 3 p.m. tip-off, isn't it? It's quite good. You can catch a late flight back to Bristol.
Yeah, nice.
It's quite nice, the flights for those games, because it actually takes less time to get to Scotland from Bristol Airport than it would be to drive to
Manchester, probably.
Yeah. So you actually get home at a decent time, which is ideal. Other things we've got to get to. All-Star Game voting. The next tentpole event in the British Basketball League this season is the All-Star Game, which takes place on March 17th at the Copper Box Arena in London. And there is still time for fans to vote for their North and South team starters. Maybe you can vote this guy over here, Keddy Johnson.
Yeah, show me some love.
vote Keddy Johnson. Put him in the All-Star starters. The league has released their Week 3 voting results, which producer Dan can get up on screen. And we're very pleased to say our BG is leading the way at the centre position with 22% of the votes at the centre position. So he's looking great right now, but he still needs your votes. Levi Bradley still sitting strong at 3rd place, having only played in the trophy competition. 15% of the votes, sitting in 3rd in the forward position. Incredible. I can also, I've got some numbers here for how the rest of the guys are getting on. Keddy Johnson over here, just outside the top 4 in voting at the guard position with just under 10% of the votes. Trajan Jacob also has just under 10% of the votes. It's a tricky one here because we spoke about how stacked the backcourt is here in this league, and everyone's sort of spreading their Flyers votes across our 4 backcourt players right now. So it's like, with Brad, it's like, yeah, he's the centre. Let's everyone vote for for Brad. With you guys, like, how do we vote? How do we pick someone? So, Keddy, have you got any words for the Flyers fans to help them sway their votes towards you?
Not even just towards me, towards all my teammates. You know, I think a couple of us are well deserving of playing in that All-Star game. So it'll be real big for us in this program to be able to play in that for the first time.
That's a very diplomatic answer there, Keddy.
Just please. I'm almost. I do want you all to play, but I want no more injuries. So
that'd be nice. That'd be nice. That would be nice. I had a text from Trajan Jacob last week saying, because obviously there's a dunk competition at the All-Star weekend. He messaged me saying, what have I got to do to get into the dunk competition? So I think Trajan Jacob might have something up his sleeve. I texted him back saying, let me know if you need the inspo with costumes or props.
Are we doing a 3-point shooting competition
There
as
is
well?
a 3-point shooting competition. There's also a dunk competition taking place as well. I think maybe a skills challenge as well. So there'll be a few things going on. But I don't know how they pick the votes for that. It's not a fan vote. I think the league just picks players for that. I think we can nominate players for it. So I'm going to be putting Trajan Jacobs' name forward for the dunk competition.
What about the 3-point contest?
You interested in
No, not me.
Tevo.
No, yeah.
What about the skills challenge? You interested in the skills challenge?
Nah,
No, just a skills challenge.
just put me in the game situation.
just put Keddy in the game, put TJ in the dunk competition, and everyone.
To be fair, P should go in the 3-point shooting
sure.
competition. He is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Isn't he?
Pasquale, yeah. It should be. Did you see the challenge you did against? Oh, actually, he lost that one, but to Trajan Jacob and the what was it the moving
the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but he should be. He had 11 points the other week in
That was
the
unreal. That was in that
game
game.
against London.
That was a big game.
Yeah, it was really good. But if you want to vote for your All-Stars, don't forget you can head to the British Basketball League website. There's a little tab at the top of the website saying All-Star Voting. You click on that, and you can fill out your fives for Team North and Team South. Other news around the club for you is that the Bristol Sport Foundation has 30 places up for grabs to run the Bath Half Marathon on behalf of the foundation as an official race charity, Sam. This event also takes place on March 17th, so it is the same day as the British Basketball League All-Star Game.
But shame, Joel.
It is. But we're on the hunt for people that want to put their name forward to volunteer themselves or nominate themselves for Team Bristol Sport at the Bath Half Marathon. It costs just £40. It guarantees your place on the start line. All you need to do is raise a minimum of £250 in sponsorship. And here's the best bit, Sam. All the money, well, actually, part of the money, some of the money goes, some of the money you raise goes towards, will be used to help potentially start a new Flyers holiday camp. So if you do want to volunteer, put yourself forward. If you're a runner, you want to raise some money for the foundation, we're looking for runners for the Bath Half Marathon. So sign your name up. Reduced entry fee of £40. You get your space in the starting line. You get a foundation T-shirt, a fundraising pack, and you get to join a Facebook group with fellow BSF runners to share your progress. And the top 10 fundraisers will also win a pair of tickets to watch Bristol City or Bristol Bears down here at Ashton Gate. The team is half full so far, so around 15 places left.
Such an optimist. I think it's half empty.
Half full, half empty, either way. But if you want to join the team, sign up now. Just head to the Bristol Sport Foundation website for all the details. And that's my plug for the foundation out the way.
Nice, mate. You nailed that, Joe.
We talked about Sunday's game against Caledonia. I've got to mention this ENBL playoff permutations because you asked me this earlier.
I don't know.
There's a few teams it could be. It could be Voluntari from Romania. It could be Cholet from Lithuania. It could be Royal Liège from Belgium. It could be Zielona Góra from Poland. It could even be Newcastle Eagles. So
it could be anyone, basically,
so
Joe.
Those that are asking who we're playing in the playoffs, we don't know yet, and we'll know on February 13th. Any preferences?
Anybody?
Anyone. Keddy's taking anyone in the playoffs for the ENBL. He doesn't matter who it is. And that, I believe, is everything you need to know in this week's news.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, Keddy, time for us to wrap up this week's episode of the podcast with our mailbag section. We ask fans to send in their questions to you. To you. One of the fans that has sent in their question is none other than Corey Samuels.
Yeah, I knew it.
He's a big fan, apparently, and he's actually sent me a voice memo on my phone. I'm going to play it here through the microphone. This is a question from Corey Samuels.
Keddy Johnson, you've been here long enough now. It's January, got here in September. I think it's time you give the fans what they want. We need a good Bristolian accent.
Hey, yo.
I know you've been listening to the way I speak and the way people speak in Bristol long enough, bro. Braver.
No Bristolian from you?
Braver.
Have you picked up any of the Bristolian slang or anything like that?
The slang?
Or like any of the Bristolian accent? You sort of been picking it up as you've sort of been going along this season?
The only little piece of slang I know is saying cheeky. I really don't got that meaning down yet.
Like cheeky Nando's?
See, like, I don't understand that.
It's like just going for Nando's.
No, you don't. It's so. What's funny about it? They'll do studies on it, I think, because it is such a weirdly nuanced word. It just. I don't really know. There's no word for it, Joel.
It's like
is there?
mischievous. It's like let's go for a mischievous, like a spontaneous.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Dan, what do you reckon, mate?
It's just weird, isn't it? Cheeky Nando's has become its own thing, where you're not really supposed to have the Nando's, but you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah. So
But then you are allowed it. You can do whatever you want.
I know,
so.
it's stupid.
well,
Yeah.
it's
stupid.
that's why it's cheeky. It's like, oh, cheeky.
Yeah, no one's stopping you from having the Nando's. Go to Nando's and have it. It's
Yeah,
not
just have
cheeky.
a regular Nando's. It's not cheeky.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Didn't want to come anyway. I know you didn't invite me, so I didn't want to come anyway. Maybe I'm going a bit in too deep there.
Yeah, and that's maybe why they don't invite you.
Yeah.
Next, we've got a few questions here for you, though, Keddy. So Matt Hardy on Twitter.
Or X.
Sorry, yeah. Matt Hardy on social media has said, besides the rehab, what was the toughest thing about having to sit on the sidelines whilst you were injured?
Besides the rehab, I mean, I'll say just watching. Watching my teammates go to war every game, every practice, and not being able to help them out when needed, if needed sometimes. I think that was the biggest thing for me.
Joe Webster on X, he asks, what's better, sweets, candy, or chocolate?
Sweets for sure. I'm not really, unless it's like white chocolate. I'm a white chocolate person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jason Williams.
Not him.
I mean, he is sick.
Yeah, for sure.
He loves the white chocolate. What are you saying? Are you like Milky Bar? You have Milky Bar over here? Have you tried it yet? Oh, mate,
What's
get that
that?
man a Milky Bar.
Have you tried
Is that
out Dairy Milk chocolate as
I
well?
don't think so.
Oh, man, I'm
What's
gonna
the
buy
Milky
some.
Bar like? What's inside of it? Like marshmallow or
It's
something?
just a white chocolate bar.
A white? No, I haven't had that.
Oh,
Very
mate.
sweet.
I've been eating nothing but like Kinder bars.
Oh, any
The white
fans?
chocolate one.
The Kinder Buenos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any fans listening to this podcast want to get Keddy Johnson a little gift? You can get him a Milky Bar. Milky Bar kid.
Yeah, looking.
You love that. You all right there, Sam?
Can't talk, mate. Got something in my throat.
Yeah.
It's chocolate.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, Milky Bars. Unbelievable. Go have one. Louis Hills on Instagram. Who are the top 5 quickest? This is a long one. Who are the top 5 quickest players in the British Basketball League right now?
Top 5 quickest.
Yeah.
Who would win in like a 100-meter sprint?
Like a race or me guarding?
Well, I guess just who's the quick. There's 2 parts to this question. The first part, yeah, go for who the 5 top quickest players on the floor.
Do 3. 5's a lot.
Oh yeah, go for top 3.
Matt Morgan for sure. I think he might be the fastest.
Yeah.
Larry Austin.
Jordan Johnson.
Different sort of quick
Yeah,
though,
it's a
isn't
different
it?
story. Yeah, he fast, but
Different kind
I'm
of. quick.
thinking just like from end to end with the ball.
What
Matt Morgan.
about LaQuincy Rideau?
I haven't played against him, so I don't know.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I say he's more so strong than
Yeah,
fast.
he is strong as well as quick. Yeah. Well, the second part of this question from Louis Hills says, who would win in a 100-meter sprint between yourself and Matt Morgan of the London Lions?
100-meter sprint, I win.
Keely's taking it.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently Keely's taking it.
We'll set that up.
Yeah, we should set that
All-Star
up.
weekend.
If London-
Yeah, I'll win for sure.
We'll do it. We'll do it pre-game. We'll get you guys in the baseline, and you guys can run do like a suicide and see who wins.
A suicide?
Well, like a there and back.
Yeah, I'll win.
Yeah. Oh, this is.
Who wins on a suicide? You as well?
I might. I think I'm in better shape.
There we go. Well,
I love the confidence.
Keely's backing himself. Go on, next question, Sam.
Okay, we're down here with Terry on 1 on Instagram.
Oh my God.
Who's that?
That's my best friend.
Is it?
Yeah.
He wants to know, what are your favorite kind of chips?
My favorite.
Crisps, yeah.
Yeah, it probably means crisps.
Out here or just in general?
Let's go
Ooh.
in general, just everything.
In general, from the States, I'll say probably hot fries, or they like honey barbecue Fritos, but they're like twisted.
Oh, they have so many good crisps out in America, don't they?
We suck out here,
We're
don't
so
we?
rubbish.
Have you found any here that you like?
I have. I can't think of the name. They like
How do you describe them? And maybe we can guess what they are.
They crunchy, but they not really crunchy. It's like,
Flavor?
I'm gonna say cheese. Like
Quavers.
Yeah.
Quavers.
Oh,
Yes, I love that, Joe.
Yeah.
Quaver's good though.
I like that.
Oh my god, I love Quavers as well. They're very nice. They're very nice.
Do you think we get one more question from Dan? What do you reckon?
Go on, producer Dan. Got a question?
My question would be, I've not thought of one, Sam. You put me on the spot here.
There's a question everyone.
I know. I was looking up Fritos online, and I wanted to know what they were, so I was looking them up, and I've not thought of a question.
He's not pushing buttons. He's just looking up stuff like crisps online.
Yeah.
Giving them recommendations. I've got a question here for you to finish from Instagram. Where is the Johnson 9 gear?
On the way.
That's on the way, is it?
On the way, in the making.
Watch this space. Keddy Johnson 9 gear coming to you very, very soon.
Stay tuned.
Is that actually true?
Yeah, for sure.
It's like last year, Lani did his JWG stuff, didn't he? Which was really nice. So we
Yeah.
can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I always do,
Well, let us know when it's coming out. We'll give it a good plug on socials. I might get one myself as well.
Yeah, me too.
There we go. Right, that's a good place for us to wrap up this week's episode of the Bristol Flyers podcast. Keddy, thank you so much for joining us here in the studio. How'd you find it?
It was fun, a little different, but I really enjoyed it.
That's this week's episode of the podcast in the books. Quick reminder, if you are listening on all major podcast providers, to give us a rating and a review. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. We'll read out all the comments. We do read all the comments. We'll read out all the reviews we get on air. Sam, anything else you want to add before you wrap up this week's episode of the show?
And remember, you can always email us at hello@bristolflyers.co.uk. That is hello@bristolflyers.co.uk. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah, from Joel, Sam, producer Dan, you've been listening to the Bristol Flyers podcast, powered by Webgains.